Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now, here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
This is Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast with your host, Bruce Hutchin, episode number 267. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. This is your host. And as I said at the last show, we're going to head to northern Minnesota. We're going to head to the cabin of Tina Kane. Tina Kane comes to us by way of Treezyn, where she's the executive director. Treezyn, a new camo pattern on the scene, folks, and it's getting a lot of reviews. And the Treezyn tribe is a great bunch of guys and gals, and Tina kind of does all the things that Cobb Center doesn't want to do, and they're both very busy driving the company forward. And sit back, relax, and enjoy Tina Kane with Treezyn. Hey, listeners, don't forget to text 33444 Food Plot for your free Food Plot ebook. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. This is your host, Bruce Hutchin, and we're heading up to northern Minnesota, and Tina Kane informed me she's at the cabin. So we're going to talk about the cabin in Minnesota. Tina Kane is the executive director of Treezyn. Tina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bruce. I'm glad to be here.
So, wait a minute. We're just talking in a warm-up. You know, you've lived in Pacific Beach, or PB, near San Diego, Newport Beach, and about 15 years ago, for about 15 years, and then Minnesota called your name again. How did that happen? I mean, come on, San Diego. I spent a lot of time in San Diego surfing, and I like it pretty much.
It is, and believe me, I have nothing bad to say about my time in California. That will always be cherished, and I could easily split my time between Southern California and Northern Minnesota with no problem at all. As I grow older, I love Southern California, but I was turning 30. That's really the bottom line, and I had been away from my family since I was 18, and I have a very fun, very just dynamite family to be around. I mean, cousins and mom and dad and brothers, and just I had never did anything with them in my hometown as an adult, and it was just calling me. I mean, the woods, the fishing, the hunting. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had to get back.
Okay, what are you looking at now? As opposed to looking at a wall. So, what can you see from your cabin?
On the east wall is 9-foot window doors that face the lake, and so I have sun all day. You know, the eastern sun comes up over there, and it's beautiful. And then there's woods all around me. So where I'm at, I'm about 45 minutes south of Canada, and it's an hour and a half from my home, which is, again, northern Minnesota. And I come up here because it is so crazy busy in my life in my hometown, or when I travel, I'm always in cities, and this is nothing but me and my dog and a neighbor dog who thinks he's mine, and it's just wonderful to get up here and get away. And it's still an hour and a half away from home. Family, friends, everyone will still come up here just because it's easy to fall in love with effing Minnesota.
Well, thanks for that. And folks, Tina is pretty unique. She's got a great background we're not going to delve into today, because we're really going to talk about something that's happening in the outdoor industry, and it's called Treezyn. And Cobb Sanders is going to be on the show in just a little bit also. But tell me what makes Treezyn. Yeah, it's a camel company, but it's something more than that. Help me articulate that, will you?
Absolutely. The attraction to Treezyn is obviously the design and the pattern of this camo. And with all due respect, you will always hear from the heart of all of us that, the mossy oaks, the real trees on one level, the cryptics and the sictas on another level. I don't know how any of us could be thankful that they existed. I mean, even the Walmart Walmart camos. No, not trying to disrespect. It's just that is what got us in the woods and had allowed us to have many successful stories in our stands or in our blinds. But when that happens, 30 years later, there's just like everything. It evolved, and you need just a new look. And that's what Treezyn stands for, the new era, the new designs of camo. Let's update it. There's room for all of us. And obviously our goal would be to be in the top three, to have something that's affordable, cost effective on our hardworking paychecks, and yet has quality at the same time.
And that's tough to balance because we've all had camo on. We got off a rack someplace and we went out and, man, the zippers pulled out or the buttons pulled out or the Velcro just didn't work. And then all of a sudden, we spent X amount of dollars and we didn't get what we paid for. And folks, I was beneficial of the benefit of getting some premium camo for my 22 days in the wilderness. The buttons are still there. The zippers are still there, and the Velcro is still there. And plus, it worked. It kept me warm. It kept me blended in. As I say, Treezyn is a reason for the season, because without a good camo today, most of us aren't going to be as good as hunters as we should be. Yeah, there's some guys out there who will still go out with wool pants and a wool jacket, and they'll kill deer. Well, most of us aren't that good. Your thoughts, Tina?
I agree. I mean, the technology has brought hunting so different than, my family is on their fourth generation of a deer camp. Right up here where my cabin is the purpose of my cabin being up here. And I know we'll dive into that a little bit, but with Treezyn in mind, I mean, they wore plaid shirts, they had their cigarettes, their coffee, they went out and sat in that tree. And in northern Minnesota, it's very easy to be sitting in minus 30 degrees. And you sat out there today. That's still our tradition. We go out there at 5 a.m. and we leave an hour past or 40 minutes past dark, where you're walking. I mean, we're surrounded with wolves. I can't say it's not still eerie, Bruce, but I'm very accustomed to walking, into the woods in the dark with those wolves right next to my ear. It feels like so many scenarios with wolves.
Yeah, I had a couple and it didn't work out good for wolves.
Yeah, ours always become on the endangered species list. It seems like right around hunting season, and I'm sure there's a purpose there. But lots of wolves, lots of bears. There's moose here, so it's beautiful country. And with Treezyn, what has been released since the ATA show back in January, it was in Kentucky, which is the home state of the owner and several of the officers. And it was just a perfect place. Cobb planned it well, not to rush this release, to kind of do a soft sale of it on social media and through word of mouth in the South. And it was just grabbed onto. And so at the ATA, it was just a dynamite hit. And we got so much good feedback, so many orders. And we keep thinking that, 10 months later, wow, everyone has seen Treezyn. It just feels like that, feeling so blessed on social media and through your social network. But it hasn't even began. I mean, we really have just hit a few of the southern states. It snuck into the East Coast somehow. It's just hitting the Midwest. There's still so many states that haven't even heard of Treezyn, and we recognize that. So you want to move on to the next pattern. You want to, there's the patterns that Cobb Sanders has created and are in that Treezyn vault, I believe will make any of us that's part of Treezyn stick around for 50 years because they're just incredible patterns and beautiful, and makes me very proud to be part of Treezyn, just knowing his vision and using his graphic designers to be able to take it from his mind and put it, into a JPEG or I'm terrible at that technology, but you know what I'm saying, a visual for all of us to see and then put onto fabric. That's just fascinating, and I'm very excited.
Well, and you should be, because you guys haven't even got started yet. Mm-mm. You really haven't. And I know, the phone calls and Cobb, being busy and all the rest and your whole support team. Let's talk about the support team, because it was tough go, but right now in the Treezyn tribe, you got what, 100 some people?
100 and some people. I think today I put 6 more in, and Matt Murphy's been unbelievable on helping keep that just going and up to date. And the Treezyn tribe is, I feel, a beautiful concept of Treezyn. And you and I talked in the warm up just about the concept of how we want to see Treezyn grow is why rush something. And you've heard a few people already say something that I really, really love is, I once said it's like dating. If you don't just, with social media nowadays, I mean, you see the younger generation, they're swiping to the left, they're swiping to the right, and they're picking their date. And, the divorce rate is tremendous out there. And there's good and bad in the evolution of human mankind here. But in Treezyn, we just thought, why are we rushing? This pattern is wonderful. The quality is wonderful. We've all worked hard, who are the officers and the pro staff, very hard. It's usually a 2 or 3 year situation before we came out at the ATA. And there's a lot of hard work. We all are still working day jobs and just really believe in this camo. And so we thought, how do we do this? The industry shows field staff, the industry shows pro staff, elite staff. How is Treezyn going to mold their supporters, and how are we going to handle them? And I would constantly hear the word, our fans. And there's nothing wrong with that, but, with me being in the sports world, fans that's a whole new word in the hunting world in many ways. And when I like something of yours, Bruce, or I like something of someone else's on Facebook or Instagram, I'm not saying I'm a fan. I'm saying whatever you just wrote or whatever you just did, I liked. It made me laugh. It warmed my heart. It made me cry. Whatever the emotion was, it is something that I felt it was well worth the effort of pushing Mike. And with Treezyn, we feel that it's a partnership. I mean, you also have to like how we run Treezyn, and our beliefs have to be something that are similar to your beliefs, and yet never ever losing our individuality. And it has worked wonderful. I mean, we are looking for just what you hope for in a person, some intelligence, no matter whether they're educated or not. Everyone comes from different walks of life. Everyone comes from different types of paychecks. We want hardworking. We want honest. We want confident, and yet we want modest. And no drama, no ego. Set all that aside. And that, I believe, is what's made an incredible Treezyn tribe. We are absolutely in love with our teams and our individuals that we have hand-selected. They've approached us. They wrote bios. We've interviewed them. There's usually 1, 2, or 3 people on the officing team that's interviewing them. And we have the pro staff help us with that. So everyone's really earned their way into Treezyn, and yet it has really helped us have incredible people around us.
And one thing, and we're going to be talking more about this guest, but simply here's Tino's motto from her bio. It's simple. You live and then you die. But she quickly adds, live well, work hard, and learn from all your mistakes. Enjoy your blessings and stay humble in all you do. And my relationship with Treezyn, I've had a number of the people that are behind the scenes and running it, and Mike Pierce and Matt Murphy, Joe Willis, Matt Moore down in Texas, and of course Tina. But all you guys are humble. It's just like, hey, this is what we do. We're good at it, so we get the confidence that we're doing it, but we're moving forward. And yeah, we're going to be successful, but it's all expected. But everybody has really good self-awareness, but it's just different. Help me with that different thing.
I think the different part is truly the partnership. And we, another huge scenario, I've heard it 2 different ways. I always say we're looking for the best baseball team we can put together. And that could mean that we need 3 pitchers and, 2 catchers and 1 right fielder, but there is no one more important than the other. That is that is truly a team. And so when we talk about the Treezyn tribe or the pro staff or the future field staff, those players that are in the tribe are the ones that are on our radar. On who do we feel complements Treezyn to where the next level should be, that they become a field staffer or an ambassador or, a pro staffer someday. And that is like us scouting for the best that fits our personality. And again, we want them to be individual. We want to know that a single dad who's doing everything he can. One of our stories is he's like, well, I'm not a part of a big team. It's like, you don't have to be part of a big team. We want to hear your story. And it was really where he was literally training other pilots for an airline down in Florida, and an amazing job. And his 11-year-old son said, Dad, I wish that we could be back in Wisconsin. Sorry, now I'm getting a phone call. I wish we could be back in Wisconsin and have Mom and you and I all in the same state. And he did it. And his family has a printing business. His brother and father were nice enough to make room for him. You can imagine the pay cut that he went through. But that was someone that said, I want my son to grow up happy. And he got his son into archery. His son has done amazing, just shot his first deer with, bow hunting. And that's a story that is part of the Treezyn book, I guess you'd say, a book. Just great people who put others in front of them, and they lead from example. They don't need to say I'm this or I'm that. If it's truly like you said, Bruce, just humble. We like confidence. Cobb said once to me, I said, well, we're all passionate people. We're all like alphas, bunch of alphas trying to agree and he goes, no, not everyone, not everyone's an alpha. He said, there's alphas and there's people who are led by alphas and are just as important as the alpha personality. And that's true. You can think the pitcher is the one that's, running the show, but he's not. It's everyone on that team or someone just on the tribe said, yeah, it's like a food plot, all the things that you put into that soil. You take your soil samples, and you think, oh, I just need so much more fertilizer. That'll do it. But, it's a lime. It's all the other things and minerals that go into that make an excellent food plot. So that's kind of our MO.
So real quick, how do people get in touch with Treezyn, and where do they find them? And then the second part of that, if somebody's really interested, hey, those sound like the kind of people I want to hang with and go on this journey with, how do they get in touch with whomever is in charge of that?
Treezyn.com is always the easiest because there's 6 of us who babysit that page. We need all 6 of us to babysit it. And they can just, the one thing, Bruce, that I've learned is that in this world of hunting, pro staff has been sometimes thrown around very lightly. And I'm new to the social media hunting world. I'm almost 5 years into it. And it's something that I remember thinking, wow, people haven't even seen me hunt. How can I be invited to a pro staff so quickly? How do they even know? I don't put a lot of hunting pictures out there for different reasons. And you just get educated. You realize that, people, pro staff, there used to be the day when the pro staff was just so earned. And I feel like that's what we're trying to bring back is earning it and learning from the others around you and what makes you a better hunter. And sometimes, adds to your own character. And we don't reward drama. We don't reward, bragging or egos. Those things just aren't what we hope to be. We don't believe that you should be knocking competition in America and anywhere is what makes us better, and I think that's the type of person we're looking for is that. And they can get on Treezyn.com and they can just tell us, what are their thoughts? What are they hoping for? How would they find themselves or see themselves as part of Treezyn? And usually one of us are either responding to them very quickly or calling them.
Enough said, folks. So, spend some time on Treezyn at Treezyn.com. I mean, there's a lot of information. You start off with about and why Cobb started this whole journey, and then some some of the people, and it's pretty insightful because every person I've met is somebody that I like to go hunting with, and I can't say that about everybody that I meet. Some people, they're great guests, and I'll probably not go hunting with them, and that's
think
okay.
About our story, Bruce. I mean, think about you and I meeting because you're amazing at what you do and amazing at networking, and I can't thank you enough for the people you've introduced me through. Gina and I talked last night. Absolutely love her. And,
isn't she something?
Oh, she is.
What a story. What a story. Yeah. You got to hear her story.
I can't wait. We got interrupted last night, so we have to finish that. But super great lady. And I think about, Scott and the fact that him and Ferguson were starting their store, and it was our first Colorado store, which to the audience, we're always looking for some wonderful stores to carry Treezyn because it will sell itself. But them opening the store, and you just by chance, going to go right where they are to do your hunt. And I mean, just think about how you and Scott are. I mean, he can't thank me enough for you being in his life as one of his newest and greatest friends. So I love that part of the helping of others that Treezyn definitely really stands behind. Is let's all help each other and get rid of the jealousy, help each other be better, and again, yet individuals.
Let's stay right there on that theme and talk about bringing back old school ways. Why is that important to Treezyn?
Because we feel like we've earned it, and you just stand taller when you've earned something. And there's such easy ways to earn things. People think there's some amazing photographers that are part of Treezyn. There's some people that have amazing words of wisdom that are part of Treezyn. And then there's other people that just have terrific humor, and terrific Christian ways and bringing up kids and letting us and allowing us into their personal life to see that happening. And I think that is old school, like hard work, good humor, allowing mistakes to be out in the open, not look at, I missed, that deer and I know better, like to not hide that. That's hunting. Hunting is to me still just a fantastic way that still makes me, and I think many others, be part of this heritage that was way before stores. And, you hunted and you learned to be one with nature and to be quiet and to take it all in and to appreciate our surroundings. And that's the way we feel Treezyn should be. Just you appreciate each other, you work hard, you're all after some of the same goals, bringing good food to your table, whether it's a trophy deer, whether it's a beautiful doe that provides amazing meat. Those are things that we feel is old school.
Thanks for that. Let's move on to, you're sitting in a 4-generation hunting cabin or near, where everybody's hunted for so many years. Just share some of the stories, the early stories that you remember spending time in that camp.
Oh, Bruce, my story is so different than spending time in that camp. And I think what makes it hilarious is the fact that there's many girls that I know will understand this. And that is real simple. My brothers and all my cousins would pack up with my dad and my uncles. And my dad was very involved in sports as well. So many mutual softball players or guys that are buddies like that. And you'd have about 27 of them heading to a camp. And I'd be like, Dad, can I go? No, honey, you go to those craft shows with your mom. But Dad, I don't want to go to craft shows. It's like, no, this is just for boys and, for guys. This isn't for the girls. And, that broke my heart. I mean, the whole time they were gone, I imagined what they were doing and being in the woods and being in the tree and seeing, their harvests and the pictures. And I never understood why can't a girl go? And I appreciate that in that generation. That's just the way it was done in our family. And it was all guys and never and still has not changed. They still have those rules, and they're 8 miles down the road. And with me being a realtor, obviously, went searching for round camp. And that camp is 8 miles down the road, a 20-minute ATV ride. and I took over my dad's stand and have been here ever since. And now brothers and some cousins are in this camp, and nieces hunt, and fiancés and wives hunt, and it's called the Rack Shack, and that's the story. My mom always laughs, saying I put you in ballet classes and dance classes and baton classes and taught you to do crafts, and all you want to do is go kill. So that's the story. That's my story anyway.
Yeah, and that's good. It's just that you can articulate that, because women represent the fastest growing segment of the outdoor industry. Why Gina Mitchell's a perfect person to point out, and Dawn Freeland and Mia Asting. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And these women, Kirsty Pike started Proas on a wing and a prayer. I mean, I know Kirsty really well, spent time with the family a number of years, blah, blah, blah. And she just got sick and tired of wearing Steve's camo. And she said, okay, I'm going to do this. And she was a trauma nurse. So right there in Gunnison, she was a trauma nurse, smart lady, and knew what to do. But she just loved hunting. So she began Proas hunting apparel, and has done very well in the face of everything. The family are successful entrepreneurs, but she wasn't. And she had to learn and grow a business, grow a brand, and she's just kicking it. So, ladies, there's plenty of room for you. And if you want to get a hold of Tina, just Tina, how best to get a hold of you for the ladies listening to the show?
Well, you literally can get on my Facebook page, which is just Tina Kane, Kane, or Treezyn.com, and those are great ways. They can address it to me or to any of us. It'll get to me. We're still a small, growing company. We're not big corporate offices, nothing. And we listen to your story. We help any way we can. I mean, we have many people that we are in touch with that weren't ready in our mind for whatever reason. Not bad, just weren't ready yet for what we were hoping for in a Treezyn Tribe member. And again, you have some, I would guess, 4 to 7 a day that don't even say hi to you. It's just, we're looking for a sponsor, and you feel like you're part of 100 letters, that go out. And that's what I mean by, that's maybe we're all part of creating that. There's just no warmth sometimes in the way people ask for things, and people are used to receiving things free. There's so much that's different. I mean, the other day, a negative turned into a positive, which is the best result of anything, and I think we all can agree. And this younger gentleman had said, hey, how do I delete my bad review? I just did a bad review on your Facebook. And I love Cobb's thinking, because he's like, never, ever take down a bad review. That's what makes us better. And the world needs to know the truth. We are not perfect. We're humans, and we're going to do some things great and other things we need to learn from. And so, with all honesty, none of us had even seen the bad review yet, and he was trying to delete it already. And I had heard from one of our pro staff, Mike Pierce, had gotten one of his friends saying, hey, this guy, my buddy's really unhappy. He ordered his camo last week, and just today they asked for his physical address. Well, our shipping manager is part of UPS, so they always try and go through UPS, obviously. And make a long story short, I think it was either 6, 7, or 8 days that it got there. He swore that he was going to return the camo because he was just upset at the company. And he took it out of the box and put it on and fell madly in love with it, is what he says. And he's like, I'm not going to return it, but I was going to. And, and so he was wonderful to try and take that down and, not let us see that review. And yet, obviously, inquiring minds, I still want to know what could we have done better. And so I called him, and he was so great, saying, well, it took, 5 days, and they were just asking for my physical address. And I said, I need to learn from you. You know, what are you used to? Are you not used to companies taking 7 to 10 days to get your stuff out? He said, no, I've never waited that long to get my stuff. And Bruce, the story behind this is, when you look at Treezyn, there's every generation. You know, we're just starting to hit the Instagram. I know we got to hit the Snapchat. You know, we're just starting to learn those markets. But we have 60-year-olds. We got Bruce and you know, your generation, which I still don't believe. But anyways, and you know, the general population seems to be 30 and 40, but we have a lot of 20-year-olds. And it was interesting for me to hear that this generation is not used to 7 to 10 days. They're used to things immediate and in 3 days. And I just told them, it's great for me to hear that. It's great for me and this company to know that we need to communicate. You know, are you okay with 7 to 10 days? Does that work for your hunting world? Does that work for your patience level? Without mocking them. It's just what we're used to today. And so I love negatives that turn into a positive where you both learn, you know.
Tina, it's hard to believe, but we've been chit-chatting here for over 30 minutes. And so one thing, and I'm going to close with this, and then I'm going to ask Tina to give shout-outs to as many as she can and whatever she wants to do about the Treezyn tribe. But folks, as far as Treezyn is concerned, it's about relationships. And Tina and I do have a great relationship. We've never met, but we've gone through some stuff together already in just the 6 months that we've known each other, and we've shared, and it's that sharing. I'm on the Treezyn tribe, but I'm not in their business, but I'm helping their business. Because I believe in who they are. I've developed a relationship with a lot of the people that are part of the company. And if you want to excel in anything, build a relationship with those people that you're trying to be like or become like. And if those people don't fit who you are, forget it. Stop. Just go a different way. Right. Because you are so special. You are unique, and you bring unique talents to the table. Go find where they fit. With that, Tina, give a shout out and let's wrap the show up.
You got it. And Bruce, thank you for everything that you do to help us. I mean, that's my first shout out is to you, because your story, your things you've shared with me and that I've shared with you, it's really like you say, it's like sitting on your porch and having to talk with a very good friend. And I love that about you. The people I really have to thank is our pro staff, Jay Utley, Mike Pierce, Joe Willis, Matt Murphy, Brad Thomas, Matt Mitchell, of course, Cobb Sanders. I can't say enough of the people that surround me in this staff, because we are all constantly talking, constantly listening to each other, just trying to be better. And it's really humbling when we talk about humbling. And then you go to the next level and you bring in, I forgot Todd Duff. Todd, do not feel less love. You know I love you. But then you bring in the whole, behind the scenes of putting shows together, to partnering up with wonderful companies out there that are doing the same thing or have the same goals that we do. And you're just going, wow, this is, I would have never known that there'd be someday that I'm going to be part of a camo company. But I think it's the funnest job on earth. It does not seem like we are working ever. And I just really learned a lot about how there's still so many amazing people on this planet that work hard and believe in what they're doing. And that's a story that you can never get tired of. No matter how many stories I hear a day, I don't know how you could ever get tired of hearing the ups and downs of this roller coaster that we call life.
Tina
so
Kane. Okay. Tina Kane and the rest of the crew at Treezyn Camo. I'm just, so happy that I can have play a really small role in your journey, but it just fits for me. And so on behalf of thousands of people across North America that listen to Whitetail Rendezvous, thank you. And I can't wait till we get it back on after ATA, which Bob is my partner. He runs the back office. and Bob and I are going to be there in Indianapolis. So I look forward to spending some time with the crew at Treezyn at ATA. So thank you so much for being part of the success of Whitetail Rendezvous.
You are a wonderful show. Everyone needs to get on with Bruce here. We love you.
Make sure you listen to the next episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. We're going to follow up Tina Kane with Cobb Sanders. Now, Cobb is the founder, president, CEO, chief sweeper-upper of Treezyn. Now, Treezyn, a new camo manufacturer in Kentucky, and they're bringing forth a great new pattern that I think everybody should take a look at.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.